America's most luxurious train. When we talk about luxury and try to associate with any country, America is one of the countries that is well known for its luxurious lifestyle. Whether it's Las Vegas's casinos, Palm Island's suites in air, or four-season resorts, America is a heaven for any rich person who wants to enjoy ultimate luxury. With a market of above $70 billion, America's luxury game is on another level. Today we're going to discuss one of the most comfortable public transportation systems in America, the Rocky Mountaineer, aka the most luxurious train in America. Today we'll look at it in detail to see what this beauty has to offer and then analyze if it is worth the hype or if it's nothing but a baseless bluff. History of the Rocky Mountaineer. When we talk about luxurious trains or even public trains in general, they're mostly public initiatives taken by the government because it requires tons of capital and fulfillment of requirements. But in 1990, an American named Peter Armstrong initiated the Rocky Mountaineer, a private, luxurious train. Its initial travel was in Western Canada through the Canadian Rockies. It's still one of the most used routes. Since then, a lot of additions have been made to its routes and structure. In 1999, it became the largest train in Canada's history, with 41 cars attached to the engine. In 2008, the train completed the milestone of serving 1 million passengers. It took them 18 years to pass this hallmark. 2 years later, 1,323 guests got on board, and it's still the biggest number of people boarded on the Rocky Mountaineer ever. In 2012 and 2015, more capital was invested to build more gold leaf domes. In 2017, the Rocky Mountaineer welcomed its 2 millionth passenger. 2 years later, a cloud-touching route was introduced that is one of the most beautiful train routes in the world. It's been more than 30 years since the Rocky Mountaineer has been serving the public. Nearly 2.5 million people have enjoyed their luxurious treatment. Let's head on to the train structure to see what makes it so special. Structure. When it comes to the structure of the Rocky Mountaineer, externally, it's got a royal blue and golden color that gives it luxurious vibes. As we come to its interior, it is pretty comfortable and luxurious, but if we compare it with the other luxury trains that we've previously covered, I'd say I'm not that impressed. Keeping in mind that it belongs to the United States, my expectations were skyrocketing, but the reality isn't that amusing. There are still some decent modifications that make it more luxurious than a normal train. Let's discuss them in detail. Gold leaf coaches. Basic coaches are called gold leaf coaches. They've got spacious first-class leather seats. Each seat has its own screen and a little dining table attached. Each coach has got 56 seats and a separate kitchen. They're air-conditioned and designed with wide windows across the walls so you can enjoy the scenes as you pass by. Lounge cars. Along with gold leaf coaches, there are 2 carriages that are specially designed to provide extra comfort. Comfortable sofas and couches are installed within, along with separate bars. It's a perfect place to have some drinks and conversation with your fellow passengers. Only the passengers with premium tickets have access to these lounges. Observation deck. If you ask me what's my favorite thing about this train, I'd say the observation deck. It's a small compartment between a gold leaf carriage and lounges. It has a large window-like opening so you can get the fresh air and feel nature more closely. Routes. When we talk about routes of luxury trains, they mostly operate over a single or 2 routes, but things get a little different when it comes to the Rocky Mountaineer. It has 4 routes, and all of those have their own charm. Each one of them is 2 days long, and you get to stay a night at some splendid natural terrain. Let's discuss them in detail. Route number 1, Moab to Denver. First route is a 2-day journey that starts from the train leaving Moab early in the morning. As the train leaves the station, you're welcomed by a mesmerizing landscape of red-colored sandstone. After that, the train travels towards Colorado. During this, you pass Mount Garfield and Ruby Canyon. Then comes your first destination, the Glenwood Springs. It's a classical place that is well-renowned for its hot springs. Passengers get to stay here overnight in the hotels that are included in the trip. The next day, the trip resumes as you travel beside a series of canyons and enjoy the rugged landscape. Then you travel alongside the Colorado River as the train enters Denver City and your trip is finally over. Route 2, Vancouver to Lake Louise. This route is mainly focused on discovering the western side of Canada. It starts from the alluring city of Vancouver. It's a perfect destination where you can find blue oceans as well as mighty mountains. Then the train heads onwards while running through scenic desert beauty. It passes by the riveting Fraser River Valley that is a perfect treat for the eyes. Then you reach your first stopping spot, Kamloops, or Riverside City. It's a perfect resting place where you get to spend the night. Next day, the journey resumes as you start traveling towards Lake Louise. Then you pass through the splendid rocky terrain. You experience the famous spring tunnels and Kicking Horse Park. At last, you pass through the Rocky Mountain Gateway and reach your ultimate destination. It's a perfect spot to enjoy the natural sceneries and hot springs. Route number 3, from Vancouver to Jasper. First portion of this route is the same as Route 2, as it starts from Vancouver as you reach Kamloops while passing through the Fraser River. But on the second day, things get completely different, as your final destination is Jasper, not Lake Louise. As the train goes on, you pass by the vigorous rivers. You can hear the sound of falling water at the Pyramid Falls. Passengers also get mesmerized by the mighty Mountain Robson before reaching their destination. These sights are the reason why this trip is also called the Journey Through the Clouds. Finally, you reach Jasper National Park, a mind-blowing site that is also declared as one of the World Heritage Sites by UNESCO. Route number 4, from Vancouver to Jasper. If we talk about the starting and final destinations, they're the same as the third route, but the journey is entirely different. As in these kinds of trips, we focus on routes instead of destinations, so let's have a look at it. As the train leaves Vancouver, it travels from the sea straight into the skies towards the mountains. While going upwards, you pass the fjords of Howe Sounds and finally reach the Coast Mountain Range, but this isn't the stop because you've got a lot to explore in the day. At last, you reach Whistler and the journey's first day comes to an end. It's a globally renowned resort that is famous for its great skiing tracks. The next day, the journey resumes and you travel through Quenzel, a city that reflects rustic vibes during autumn. Then, followed by the far-reached parts of River Fraser, you finally reach Jasper National Park. Cost, and is it worth it? A full-fledged 2-day trip on the Rocky Mountaineer costs around $2,000. It includes all the meals, drinks, and a one-night hotel stay. As it comes to the worth, keep in mind that it's a private train and that you get a really amazing experience. Moreover, the scenes that you get to see during this trip are exceptional. The experience itself is unmatched, so I'd say that it does pay you back pretty impressively. As we can see, the Rocky Mountaineer isn't as good as the other luxurious trains, but the scenes it provides are matchless. What do you think about this trip as a whole? Let me know in the comments. That's it from my side. Hopefully you liked it. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get the latest updates.